This is a Kirkendall Barrett presentation, darling.
Feed me, meow, meow, meow.
Because of this podcast, I'm a gay icon.
I'm so hot. I'm so good looking. My salad dressing is amazing.
Like the internet at large, there are things you can do on the internet besides porn, but most of it's porn.
A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello, everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about your favorite movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark Channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bowers.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
Well, I didn't even know how to begin. You know, we
had a couple of false starts there. Yeah.
This is our first episode.
Yeah. It's our first episode after the holidays. Jason and I are in Los Angeles, so there's fires going on right now. And I didn't know about you, Jason, but even though the year's been around for about a week, I feel like it's been like 2 months already.
Oh, yeah. This has been a weird year for me personally, just because I traveled at the very beginning of the year, come back, then the wildfires started, then I traveled again this past weekend. So and I'm traveling again this coming weekend. It's a lot packed into January.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, this time last week, I was just getting back from Sweden, surrounded by snow.
Oh, wow. Oh, so you got back like right when everything was sort of starting here in LA.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because this time last week, we're recording this on Tuesday, I think last Wednesday, I was packing a go bag in case I had to evacuate, because that's when the Sunset Fire happened. That was at Runyon Canyon. That's just, you know, less than 3 miles from where I live. You could see it from my apartment.
Yeah. I like that. I saw in the news that firefighting plane that would like dip into the ocean, get the ocean water. I was like, yeah, that's putting some good use to water.
Yeah, that's how they got the Sunset Fire, the Runyon Canyon one, so fast, is because it was right by Hollywood Reservoir, and that the night that was happening, the winds had died down quite a bit by then, so they were able to put planes in the air. The visibility was better, so they just had better conditions to fight that one.
Yeah.
Now, because I didn't know about you, Jason, but I was getting all sorts of frantic messages from friends and family from the other, you know, in different states.
Yeah.
Kurt, like, what were they showing on the news? Because people in my life were like nuts, which I was grateful for, but you know.
Right. A lot of the focus I saw was on like the celebrities, the wealthier neighborhoods. Where was it? Pasadena, is that it?
Palisades is the big one.
Yeah.
That's the bigger fire, and where there were more celebrities that lived.
Yeah, there was a lot of focus on that because a lot of those houses were huge. So it was like there's huge houses on the water. There was like some human interest stories too. Like there was a family who they were like, I mean, like personal stories where there was a family that they lost their grandmother, so they're like on the search for that, and there were some people like that. There were some stories like about animals too. Like somebody came to their house was burnt, but their dog was still alive. There was a woman whose like sheep were still alive. So it's very obviously for me it's 3,000 miles away, but it's very upsetting to watch this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the national coverage that I saw, I will say this is one of the rare cases where a story like this didn't seem like it was being exploitive in the way they were reporting on it. Like sometimes we'll have an earthquake here and you'll only see the footage of like the one building that crumbled and everyone thinks that everything else fell down. This one, like there literally have been huge swaths of land that have burned.
Oh yeah. There's also stories about how the insurance that's like something that gets covered quite a bit. I don't watch 24 hours news, so I might watch like CBS News and Inside Edition, which I always talk about how much I like that show. So they cover that. Like there was like insurance policies that got canceled like while the houses were burning, which is like really shitty. But
that's so awful.
That's why insurance companies are often frowned upon.
Yeah.
So there were stories like that. Yeah. And like how can the insurance companies even cover all this? So
yeah.
Well, it's my understanding a lot of people didn't even have fire insurance. They because it's so expensive in California if you can get insured. That a lot of people just say, like, it's not worth it to pay all that money. If my house burns, I'll still own the land. I'll just rebuild.
Yeah. There's some stories about how landlords are jacking up rental prices, trying to take advantage of the situation. Yeah, which is really shitty.
Yeah, but there's laws against that as well. So
yeah, but there's a lot of good stuff. A lot of people, helping out, and communities coming together, and all that. But it also says it's not. It's still happening, right?
Yeah. And I know several people who have lost their homes.
So do I.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Terrible.
Like, it's one of these situations. It's like, what do you say?
And there's also some people, like, there's one house that's still there and like all around it. It's like, oh my God, how does that person feel? You have like survivor's guilt.
Yep.
Having this one house remain.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Oh, I told you before we recorded that I have a Lifetime of Hallmark angle to this. So our last episode where we had Karen Richmond on, who is once the new Gidget, who I think might be the most recent person to place Gidget. She was a great guest. She was so much fun.
Yes.
Who I love.
The original Gidget, meaning like the person that inspired the character that the movies and TV shows were based on, her home was one of the ones that was lost.
No.
Yeah.
Who?
The original Gidget.
The original Gidget. I got to look up her name. I forget.
Sandra D.
No, not an actor. Like the actual
the real
human being
person
that Gidget was based on.
Oh wow, that's way back. Okay, I didn't know there was a real person. Okay.
And so many historical things have like burned up. So many like landmarks have run.
Well, the Will Rogers house burnt down. Yeah.
Oh, Kathy Gidget Kohner Zuckerman. So Gidget's obviously a nickname, but she was the inspiration for Gidget.
Okay.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah, that it's been a time, but yeah.
Can I read Les Kirkendall but Barrett? Would you mind if I read your Facebook status, because it's so blunt?
Sure.
It's just so blunt. This is actually kind of
sure.
Okay, so this is from Les Kirkendall Barrett, the co-host right here on the show. This is a Facebook status for your information. Number 1, not everyone in Los Angeles is wealthy. Number 2, I have friends who are working class actors who have lost everything. 3, yes, I know people in wealthy neighborhoods who have lost everything too, and just because they are wealthy doesn't make it any less valid. 4, know that while you're wasting your energy hating on Los Angeles, we honestly don't ever think about you living in your sad little town, living your boring, sad life, working in your mundane 9-to-5 job. So maybe you could put your hater energy into making your lives more exciting. I lead a pretty exciting life and wouldn't trade it for anything. So keep being a hater. And last but not least, F you. That's
it. I feel like there's a lot of gray area in that message.
I was going to say.
Well, this is why I did it, because I was sick of people posting on Facebook how they were happy that like people lost their homes and then they were rich. So
that's shitty.
Like people are rich, so they deserve it.
Oh well. We saw Steve Gutenberg out there, he's a friend of the show, although he's never been on the show. But he's at work. He was out like helping people and helping people in the streets.
Yeah, I think his house was burning, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but he was out there on the.
And wasn't he mostly helping older people?
Yeah, there's a
Isn't
lot of
it- I think he was
elderly in
something old-
Palisades, like because you
Yeah.
could buy a house there for really cheap years ago. So a lot of those people just stayed.
Yeah. Because that's what I'd heard. I'd heard he was helping like a lot of older people who couldn't help themselves.
Yeah. I think I said Pasadena by accident. That's not even Los Angeles.
No, it is.
No,
So
but that's one of the areas.
yeah. So
okay.
the
Okay.
Eaton fire is Altadena, but Altadena is like really close to Pasadena. So Pasadena, Altadena, Arcadia, those are all like in that
good.
area. They're all affected.
I didn't embarrass myself.
No.
And I know a lot of people who bought down there because the homes are cheaper than buying in LA. Like, if you wanted to buy in like LA proper or West Hollywood, it's pretty expensive.
But there's a lot of nice
was
homes
looking-
out there
yeah.
now too. Like people I've heard of celebrity homes from that area too that have been lost.
Oh yeah, especially South Pasadena.
Yeah.
I was looking at how much places were out there. I was like, whoa, I couldn't afford any of this. Like if I wanted to buy a place,
Wow. Yeah. It's
can't really
insane.
buy a house unless I was in.
And now you're going to see, and even you're already seeing a run on the housing market even more so because all of these people that are fairly wealthy that lost their homes are in a position to be able to just start looking for a new home.
Right.
Yeah.
So the prices are going to go up again.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Anyway.
Shall we talk about this Christmas
a
movie?
downer of a year. I looked at the calendar at one point. I was like, wait, we're only a week and a half. We're a little bit further now, but at this point, I was like, we're only a week and a half of this year.
Yeah.
All this stuff has already happened. Oh
Yeah.
my God. It was like
It's the 14th.
it was like on New Year's morning. Like there was stuff going on. Like so.
Oh yeah,
Jesus
yeah, with
Christ.
the
the New Orleans
Over
and
into
the,
the
and the
barricades
car
and stuff.
blowing up, and
Yeah.
we've had the Jimmy Carter funeral, and that was entertaining to watch. They did the same thing at the Jimmy Carter funeral that they do in this movie. They're playing secular music in churches. I don't know how they're getting away with it.
What?
They bend the rules.
I feel like you
They
can play
should
secular
imagine
music in
they-
churches. I don't think that's a rule.
They're not. See,
In Catholic churches, they do.
But no, Catholic churches, they're not supposed to. Not the people I was talking to.
I don't think
My-
it's a
Really?
general practice where it's like let's only do secular music, but I don't think it's like banned where you can't play anything if it's in the
I
service
tried
of
to get.
telling the Lord's story.
Well, look, I tried to get at my dad's funeral. I tried to get certain songs in. I talked to the organ
Well,
player.
you
I said,
wanted
"Can
them
you
to play "Smack by Bitch Up" by the Prodigy, which I think was a
Yeah, I
little
wanted that.
inappropriate.
Well, I thought it was good. Because it was really, I tried to get, and I said, "Can you do Hallelujah?" And the organ singer, he said, "That's a Leonard, well, not Leonard Bernstein. Who
Leonard
did it?"
Cohen.
Leonard Cohen, yeah. He says, "No, that's a Leonard Cohen song." No, and I said, "Well, we'll try to get Proud Mary," because that was like one of my dad's favorite songs. I said, "Proud Mary," and Danny Boy, and he had to like give it to the priest for approval, and the priest said no to Proud Mary. All he would have been doing was playing it on an organ. But they did
Maybe-
Danny Boy. They
So
made,
why does
they
the
made
priest get
Danny
to
Boy.
decide what's played at your father's service? What the heck?
It's the
I corrected
church,
myself there.
and I had to talk to the priest. He said to me, "You're doing a eulogy." He's like, "Keep it clean." He said, "You can."
What
He
do
said,
you
"If you want
think
to have
you
like
were
something."
gonna do?
Oh, I was bad.
yeah, I
did
think
a
it was just that
Buddhist
priest.
prayer. I did a Buddhist prayer in retaliation of the Catholic Church,
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
and then I asked for applause because no one ever applauds. And I was done with the eulogy. I said, "No applause," and the people applaud. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Like,
I
that's
think-
just
I
a
think that
power
was
hungry
just the
priest.
doing it.
Yeah.
And this movie, ooh, and I think this movie it was in a Catholic church.
Yes, it was the shady priest.
Well, we'll get to that. I got a lot to unpack.
Well, before we unpack things, do you have any Blac Chyna news?
Doing a piece of China.
I'm talking China.
Blac Chyna report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Okay, this came out at the end of the year, 2024, and this is from E! Online. Is the E! Channel still around? It used to be.
Yes, of course.
There's still an E! Channel? Okay.
It's a hollow shell of what it once used to be, but yes, it's still there.
Okay. Well, apparently they have a website, E! Online. So Blac Chyna reveals what she thinks daughter Dream Kardashian's future career will be. This is an article by Brett M. Malik. Okay, Blac Chyna has no doubt that Dream Kardashian is going to follow in her parents' footsteps. She's going to be hurling a pole at someone. Mm-hmm. Anyway, now she says, I feel like Dream is going to be a businesswoman and a leader. The reality star who shares Dream with ex Rob Kardashian recently told Entertainment Tonight of their 8-year-old's future career path because she has all the elements. I'm instilling what she needs now organically. By watching me, she says. Okay, the influencer explained. And that's the best way to learn. Just to be confident and understand family values and how to treat people, all of this, and how important school is. We were just talking about that. Okay. So, in fact, Chyna, who was also mom to King Cairo 11 with ex Tyga, revealed Dream already has some ambitious college plans in the works. We were driving and she goes, I'm going to UCLA and all this cute stuff. And I'm like, that's hard, Dream. The 36-year-old recounted, she's going to go very, very far. Just how she moves. She has a lot of common sense. Plus, Dream has already broken into the music industry with her debut single, Besties Do It Better, which was released earlier this year. She's all in, Chyna noted. She freestyles it. As for how Chyna encourages Dream to tap into her singing talent, she shared, honestly, just letting her be creative. This is not a thing to where she'd be like, hey, you have to go to the studio. Whenever she gets that urge, which it is an urge, you can't just force it. Music just has to be in you, not on you. Authentic. That sounds like me when I'm kind of bullshitting. But anyway, in addition to flaming Dream's ambitions to become a successful entrepreneur, Chyna is also instilling confidence in her only daughter as she grows into a young woman. The two even went viral in October. I know it goes on and on. That's pretty much it. She says she was kind of making her not feel self-conscious about her look, you know. She looked in the mirror and she thought she had a big forehead, and she told her, you don't have a big forehead. I know we covered that before. So yeah, that's what she sees, a big future. And then there's kind of inappropriate pictures of Dream in like bathing suits and at the pool. And well, I don't know. I guess not inappropriate. Depends on how you view
Dream's
things.
grandmother is Kris Jenner, so I'm sure that Kris is going to put her to work.
I am going to open a chain of gay nightclubs, similar to like a TGI Fridays, but for gay people, called Flaming Dreams.
Well, you can't discriminate.
I can't do what?
Flaming Dreams.
You can't discriminate. You can't just say no straight people are allowed.
No, I didn't say that. Wow, why did your mind go there, Kurt? What's going on with you?
You said it was a gay. It was for gay people.
It's aimed at gay people. Bars. Lifetime is for women, but we watch it.
Oh, all right. Jeez, I thought you were gonna just.
Speaking of watching, do you know what I watched on my flight home?
Hardcore
porn. Very good.
OnlyFans.
No, I watched Thelma starring June Squibb.
Ooh, how was it?
And it was very good.
Okay,
it was very good.
I thought it was very good too.
She produced it.
I think she was like listed as a producer. Yeah, she was very good. Yes. Yeah, there aren't any nominations because it's a busy Best Actress field, but she was very good. That was a very good movie.
Richard Roundtree was very good. Shaft.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it had a lot of integrity to it too, in terms of like how older people are treated.
I want a scooter now.
Yeah, I give that movie a big thumbs up as well.
If that is something that interests you, just the concept of older people and how they're treated and just aging in general, I finished that Ted Danson show, Man on the Inside on Netflix. Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, yeah? Yes. Yeah. Highly recommend.
Wow. Shall we talk about this movie? What's it called?
Yeah, let's do it.
Our Little Secret.
Our Little Secret.
Which I actually enjoyed.
Same.
Well, I was today. I had to drive around for hours, and I was just thinking about this movie. So I've got some thoughts.
You watched it a while ago, didn't you, Kurt?
Okay.
No, I watched like half. I watched like most of it yesterday and part of it today. And I was just driving around like, is that the kind of man that people think that women are after? Like these sort of emasculated, yorky guys who are like harmless. I think women want more. I want to see one of these movies where they have them with like a more of a motorcycle guy, or maybe even like a cop. We don't see any cops. Women like cops because they'll protect them.
I think some women like cops for that reason, but I think there are plenty of women that don't need you to be this super whatever masculine means. I don't think that has to be every guy.
All right. Let's, I don't know. This is like the ideal.
So what I like.
What feels the ideal. Anyway, I'm losing focus. Let's keep going. All right.
So one of the things I liked about this movie is it started off with an origin story, like a cartoon, and it basically explained their whole dynamic.
Yes.
And so they were kids. So they've known each other since they were kids. They became a couple. Lindsay was Avery. Am I gone?
You're back. You're back.
Lindsay was Avery, and whatever his name was Logan, and they were teen lovers, and then Lindsay's mother died.
I see dead people.
And then they grow up and become young adults, and then Avery gets a job working in London. And Logan stays behind. And then we go to Christmas of 2014. And Avery and Logan have a fight. They're having a little tiff at first because Logan is too drunk.
Yeah.
Right.
Which you would never see this in a Hallmark movie.
Right. They also said shit a lot in this movie too.
Remember that? I don't think I clocked that.
No, I didn't either.
So then they go into Avery's house and they were throwing a surprise going away party for Avery because she's going back to London. And Logan is drunk still. Dad likes Logan.
Who likes Logan? You cut out there again, Les.
Avery's dad likes Logan. And he's just, telling Logan, I really like you kids, and you kids can go the distance. And he's just giving like a little pep talk. Well, drunk Logan takes it too far and proposes to Lindsay. Now, what have we said on this podcast? Never propose to someone in public.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, like, in this case, it wasn't like he planned to propose. He did it out of, like, desperation to try to get her to stay.
Right. Desperation and drunkenness.
Yeah.
It's the working girl mistake.
Right. Because he's proposing and Lindsay's going, no, please don't. Stop, please stop, please stop.
She was telling him to stop and he kept going.
Well, so at the time, they were supposed to be like around 20? So they were young.
Right.
They're supposed to be like probably like 20, 21.
Probably like early 20s, yeah.
Yeah. So then Logan yelling at her and tells her that she's running away. And then he said the thing that he could not come back from, which he tells her that her mother would be disappointed in her.
Yeah.
That's bad.
And then that's like, ooh, we can't help you now. So then Avery is so upset for good reason, that she's like, okay, we are done. I never want to talk to you again. Then I liked how they did like the passage of time. Because they did like,
they had a time passing montage.
Yeah, but it was actually a really cool one.
Yeah,
different historical events. One of the historical events was Stranger Things, a Netflix show.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
patting themselves on the back pretty hard there.
Yes, threw that in there. It
should have been all Netflix shows. Like Lilyhammer was one year. That was the big thing one year. Then Stranger Things. Then
like Tiger King.
Yeah, Tiger King. The one with
it's just
Kathy
a Netflix sizzle. There's like no life events. It's just the Netflix sizzle.
It ends with the Menendez brothers show. Right. That's the current time.
That would be funny.
And well, actually, you think it's the Menendez brothers until the This Is Cake guy comes in and sticks a knife in it, and it's just a piece of cake that looks like a Menendez.
That's hilarious.
That's a good transition.
The British Bake Off. So then it's present day, and so we see it's looking like they do like a split screen, and so Avery's living in New York, it looks like, and Logan, it looks like he's at like a construction site, like he's looking over like plans.
Yeah, everybody's busy.
So Avery's like preparing to go back home. Her friend in the office gives her a bottle of wine to take with her. And then we see Logan on the construction site, and he meets up with his girlfriend because he's going to meet his girlfriend's parents.
Her name's Cassie.
Now, at the same time, Avery is in the car with her boyfriend, Cameron. Mm-hmm. And so then they cut back to Logan with Cassie, and we find out that every kid in her family has a C name. So there's Cassie, Cameron, there's Cassie and Callum and Cameron. She said,
anyway.
And if you listening haven't already connected the dots, Cassie and Cameron turn out to be brother and sister.
Right.
Yes.
So
Caleb.
Caleb. So her house, and Logan stops by his house, and Avery stops by. She's talking to her dad. Her dad gives her some old pictures, and then we cut to Logan's house, where his mother is Macy from The Bold and the Beautiful, and his grandmother. Who now we cut back to Avery's house, and her dad has remarried, and he and his wife are wearing these ugly outfits, and they're going. Where were they going to? They were going to Cancun, right, or something.
He was in a Hawaiian shirt. Did they say that he was remarried, or was she just the girlfriend?
I thought. Well, she just called her Barb, so I thought it was her.
Yeah, she's someone in the dad's life who isn't Barb also the realtor that's selling the house?
Oh no, not Barb. Barb was the realtor. I forget or it was Susan or something like that.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if this woman was also the realtor.
But she made no impact on me.
Yeah.
But it seemed like she and Avery got along.
Oh yeah. Like there was no animosity between Avery and this woman, whether she were a girlfriend or a stepmom.
Right. And back at Logan's house, his grandmother obviously has dementia.
Yeah.
And she's sitting on a couch and she's watching. Their cable was out, so her mom was just kind of watching the cable logo, and I took it to mean that they were having money troubles.
I did too.
Oh, really?
I initially, yeah.
Oh. I thought they were kind of making a mockery of the woman a little bit. I was like, really? Haven't we got past that?
I felt there were a couple of moments where they could have handled the dementia storyline a little more delicately than they did. Yeah.
I think I thought we got past that, and I guess 2024, 2025.
Because I personally, currently dealing with it, I was like, okay, that's not funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Avery and Cameron are in the car, and he's like prepping her. My mom, make sure you're nice to the dog, giving her all these rules. And then they get to his house, and his mom opens the door, and I was like, it's Kristin Chenoweth!
Yes.
So then I knew I was going to love this movie because I love Kristin Chenoweth.
Did you not know she was in it?
I did not.
Oh, okay. I was happily surprised that this movie also had Chris Parnell and Deby Reyes and Tim Meadows and Dan Bucatinsky, like a lot of good comedic and character actors.
Yeah.
Well,
Tim Meadows looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Chris Parnell.
I was like, Tim.
Chris Parnell, of course, was Dr. Spaceman.
Mm-hmm. Spaceman. Leo Spaceman.
Dr. Spaceman.
Yeah.
So this is something that I've done before myself. When Lindsay was like, she was like, you know what, I need to get changed first, and he's like, oh no, that's okay. And then she goes and then gets shade from the mother-in-law. I've been through that.
What, for wearing something inappropriate?
Yes. Not with my current mother-in-law, but in my last relationship.
Okay.
And I would, and there's no shade like mother-in-law shade.
Wow.
Because, you can't turn around.
What did your ex's mother say to you? If you don't mind me asking.
She was like, oh, those pants are different.
Oh.
Which that's shade.
Yeah.
That's big shade.
That's lazy shade, though. Because then you're opening yourself up for either a clapback about your own outfit, or like if you don't like them, you can certainly buy me some new ones. Otherwise, keep your mouth shut.
Well, my inner monologue was saying, "Oh, is that the best you've got?"
Yeah,
oh, come on.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's lazy.
It's kind of strategic shade because you can't accuse her of insulting. I just said it's different, but it's
right.
Kind of shady.
Right.
I always did well with mothers because I'm a sweet boy.
My mother-in-law now is cool.
And I wear the right pants.
My mother-in-law now, we gang up against John.
Yeah, I can imagine. John is like he's pistol whips.
Terrible.
Everybody. That's what I said. I'm going to be an advocate for John. Man, poor guy.
It's like, it's funny. I agree now these days. I agree with my mother-in-law on most things.
Wow, that's funny.
Oh, so anyway, so then Logan, so Kristin Chenoweth is giving her just mad shade, and then Logan and Cassie come home, and first of all, Kristin Chenoweth, we see that it's same house. Kristin Chenoweth loves him. Erica loves Logan.
Yeah.
But then, of course, Logan and Avery run into each other in front of everybody, and they're both kind of like, oh shit. And before Logan could say anything, Avery introduces herself like they had never met before.
I've known ladies like that also, where it's like if you're the guy, oh, she's just so sweet, but then the girl, oh, not cool with the girls. So that's what she was like.
Yeah.
So then Avery grabs Logan and they go into the bathroom and she's like, she hates me. So we've got to pretend like we don't know each other. It's going to be awkward. And Logan like reluctantly agrees.
What did you guys think of that central conceit of this movie? That they felt they needed to lie about the fact that they dated like 12 years ago.
Right.
Because I just thought it was truly absurd that A, you would even worry about that, but B, if you're going to worry about it, that you think you could carry off that ruse for the entirety of your relationship.
No, and that's not even that unusual in like a smaller community,
right?
Like I could even see like if they were married and they met up in something like that and they're like, oh shit, we used to be married.
Yeah.
But even then I still wouldn't pretend.
Yeah, because it's not like the relationship ended like last week where there's a danger of like, oh, we're gonna get back together. It's like it was years ago.
And they hadn't seen each other in 12 years at all.
Right.
So then they leave the bathroom and their best friends come over, who is Tim Meadows and his wife.
Deby Reyes, who you probably know from Scrubs.
Oh, wait a minute. Wasn't she on Devious Maids?
She was. Yep.
Okay,
Devious
that's why.
Maids.
Okay. Yes. After Desperate House, there was kind of a spin-off-ish sort of a show called Devious Maids.
Yeah, same creator.
Yeah. So that's right. She looks better now than she did on Devious Maids.
She's playing a maid. Now she's playing a wife of a rich guy.
Right.
Tim Meadows' wife, man. He's got Mean Girls money.
What was that character he played that was supposedly like the stud?
The ladies' man.
Yeah. Did he have a name though? It's just called The Ladies' Man.
I think he had a name, but like the show was called The Ladies' Man.
Yeah, there was a movie that did about that.
So he's so Cassie is like tells the Tim Meadows character, hey, my boyfriend is involved. He's like a contractor and maybe you guys could work together.
Yeah.
And so then Tim Meadows tells Logan, well, hey, you know what? I am working on this lifestyle complex and hey, let's talk. Maybe you can give me a proposal. I would need something by December 24th, but maybe we could do something.
And the deadlines on this were absurd because they wanted to decide by January 1st. So they needed the proposals by December 24th. So this whole bidding process to build a lifestyle complex was all being decided upon by a bunch of business people between Christmas and New Year, a week where notoriously Americans really don't work for the most part.
Right.
So then Tim and Judy's daughter Sophie shows up, and she is beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And Erica loves her. And it turns out that Cameron and Sophie had grown up together. They'd known each other since they were babies.
And didn't they used to date as well?
Did they?
I think it was a similar situation. Sophie and Cam.
Okay.
Sophie
was similar to Logan and Avery.
Yeah.
Really?
And Sophie.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to be a bitch, but she was actually very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So then later, that night, Avery's walking down the hall and she's looking at, there's like a hall full of family portraits. And Kristin Chenoweth looks the same in every portrait. Yeah. Like she looks young.
That was a very funny sight gag throughout the movie. And also probably my favorite line of dialogue was right before that scene where they're talking about Callum, who's the youngest of the three kids. And somebody asks how old Callum is. And Erica says, he's 18. And then somebody said, No, he's 17, or the other way around. And she just goes ish. He's 18-ish.
Ish. Yeah.
Right.
What did that mean? I didn't understand that.
I think what that probably was is that the character was probably originally conceived as a minor, as a 17-year-old, and they're like, we've gotta like make him legally an adult, so some of the stuff that he does in the movie doesn't feel as heinous.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Because he ends up saying.
He looks like Ronan Farrow.
A little bit.
Cal?
Like a douchey teenage Ronan Farrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, Avery's talking to Cameron, and Cameron's like, "Oh, my mom's not so bad. She just needs to warm up," which is another thing I've experienced. Like, "Oh no, she's fine." When it's like, "Oh, she hates my guts." So then, so the next day, the family's getting a family portrait done. And Avery wants to go into town, but Cameron says no, because we got to do this family portrait. And then later we've got to go to church. And then Erica then says, she shades Avery again by saying, "Oh, Avery, this isn't, just so you know, this is not a jeans occasion when we go to church."
Right.
So Logan is going to get the family Christmas. So they were like, "Well, Avery, why don't you go with Logan to get the Christmas tree?" So Logan, so they drive to get the Christmas tree, and Logan is bugging Avery to wear this coat because he's like, "You're not dressed warm enough. Wear this coat." And Avery's like, "I don't want to wear the coat. It's ugly." And he's like, "Well, you know what? It's Callum's coat. I want you to wear it." And so she wears it. And so they're at the Christmas tree lot. They're looking for trees, but it was like trees that you had to chop down yourself.
Not a business model I am on board with. As I've said before.
You have to do that? There's places you have to do that?
Yeah.
There's places where people want to do that, and that's why they go there. Similar to apple picking.
I know you don't like that.
Yeah, any place where you go where you have to do the work and pay them for the privilege of doing their work, not a fan.
Oh, so Build-A-Bear, you probably wouldn't like that.
No.
I will give Build-A-Bear a slight exception only because you are customizing that bear specifically with the items that you choose. But it's still very much in that category, along with like the Korean barbecue places where you have to make the food at the table. Not a fan.
Oh, wow.
Kurt.
I like that. You got a hot table.
No. Cook it for me. In fact, the last time I went to one, we were given that option where they'll cook it for you. I was like, yes, absolutely.
I'm going to come out there. We're going to go to a Korean barbecue place, and I will cook it.
Kurt, you need to come out here, Kurt. You really do.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if right now is the best time.
Kurt, we would show you a good time.
I will say, working in travel and tourism in my day job, don't come this week, but in a couple weeks it's going to be fine. In fact, the weather will be beautiful, and trails and things will be open. You'll be able to do stuff. It's actually, and it'll probably be inexpensive to come out here at that point.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, the flights here are going to be cheap for a while. Oh, so then tells Avery, "Hey, listen, I need a favor." He's like, and I can do you a favor as well. He's like, "I can get Erica to like you, but what I'd love in return is for you to help me with my proposal." Because turns out that I guess Avery's a businesswoman.
Yes.
So then they're talking, and Cameron called Avery, And he's like, hey, on your way home, can you get some more wine? And then Erica throws in shade once again and is like, no screw tops.
Yeah, that is rude.
It's very rude because that's also like an outdated thing about wines. There are plenty of good wines that use screw tops.
She should have gotten in a box. That would have really like freaked her out. Box wine.
And he's like, give me 3 days. Oh, what, box wine?
There was a little age shaming also. He says something like, well, he tells her, well, you have to be in a serious relationship. You're in your 30s. And I was thinking, isn't she like in her 40s?
No,
she's actually 30s. She's in her late 30s. Yeah. Still 30s.
Yeah, she just had some hard living.
Also, she's got, she's got red hair and very fair skin. That's you're not going to look 5.
Like that. Lindsay Lohan has a deep voice.
So then they're driving. What'd you say? Lindsay Lohan.
She has a deep voice. No, I had this voice down better in the car. No, she has like a deep voice. That's what she sounds like. A little bit like that. Yeah.
That's like Selma, like Selma and Patty on The Simpsons. Yeah.
Where's Bull? Oh no, I thought you meant Selma Diamond from
the same difference.
Where's Bull?
There we go. 2025, everybody. Welcome to the new year. It's a Selma Diamond reference.
So they're driving, and
you just chose the wrong Selma.
That's Selma Diamond.
Well, she's jonesing for this coffee, man. She's got.
Did you notice there was a bad green screen?
I didn't actually. I normally catch that too.
No, I don't mind that. That when the people are driving around, if there's the green screen in the back, I kind of like.
Yeah, wait, I didn't get the jonesing for the coffee either. Did they tell her did they not have caffeine?
No, because she needs it. She needs that caffeine. I don't know. She needed that, and then she was like jonesing for some kind of sugar.
Yeah. Well, she reached into the pocket and she found some gummy bears.
Mm-hmm.
And she ate them. And so
after she ate like 2, I did the math in my head as to what was happening. I didn't notice. I didn't figure it out on the first gummy, but like 2 or 3 in, I was like, oh no.
Yeah. I was like, I know what kind of gummies those are.
I know it ruins the whole joke, but why don't they pull over and get a sandwich or something like that? Like she has a job. She doesn't have to be eating out of someone's pocket.
I just think they weren't anywhere near anything at that point.
Jones.
Right. And I think she was just kind of like snacks. Because you know how sometimes like you just want a little snack?
Yeah, just a little nosh. And she got it.
Yeah.
But did they show the bag of the gummies at this point, or how do we find out what kind of gummies they were?
No, they should later.
Okay.
Yeah. They should later. And I guess because they taste kind of stale. But there is. So Erica likes the tree. And Logan was like, oh, Avery picked it out.
Okay.
And so Erica's like, oh, and kind of gives a little shade still. Then Avery looks at the family portrait and she starts to giggle. And that's when it's really like, okay, we know what kind of gummies those are.
Yeah.
Then she goes into the next room. Then it's time for church. And
it should be pointed out, by the way, that she was eating handfuls of those things.
Oh, yeah.
I am a regular consumer of marijuana products, and for edibles, I can only do like a little 5 milligrams, and that's enough for me. And if, let's say, each of those pieces was 5 milligrams, she probably ate, I don't know, 100 milligrams worth of gummies. She was
shoveling them in. She was shoveling them in.
Yeah.
What do you think would be the result of that in real life? Like, would she have to go to the ER?
Like, even though it was THC, it would make her even goofier than she was already acting, and she would probably become not actually paralyzed, but just think that she's paralyzed and couldn't move. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty significant amount.
Fun.
So I loved what they did. Like she was looking at the little dog, and the dog was like kind of going closer. And then it's like she thought the dog was like following her.
Yeah.
And then Logan has the coat and he puts the coat away and he looks and then he sees the bag and that it's pot gummies.
Yeah.
And so then they're at church and
Blasphemy.
Avery is stoned. And so like she's clicking her nails on the Bible because it makes a sound.
Yep.
And then Erica volunteered her to do the reading. And so Logan goes to talk to the priest to tell the priest, like, you know, don't make her do it. And
he talks to an altar boy. Yeah.
I wrote him, in my notes, I called him a little bitch altar boy.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, he was.
I don't feel bad for things I say. Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, is it only Catholic churches that have altar kids and maybe Greek Orthodox?
I only know of that.
Protestant
I
churches
only
do.
know of that as a Catholic church thing.
Yeah, so it must be a Catholic church.
Yeah.
A lot of people at this church too. It's like this.
Well, it's
like
Christmas Eve.
And it was
it?
a 4 p.m. It wasn't Christmas Eve yet. No, it definitely
It was
wasn't.
a children's service.
It was
That's
a
right,
4
children's
p.m.
service.
children's service, and it wasn't Christmas Eve yet. It didn't make any sense why this family felt they needed to go to this.
Well, a lot of people.
Well-
this is like The Exorcist just came out or something like that. This church was packed.
Well, because since it's a kid's service, like all the families and the aunts and the uncles and all that stuff.
Oh. Kids service.
So then Avery's even more stoned. Like she's totally stoned. Then the priest calls on her to read.
Do you know who the actor was who played this priest? What his actual name was?
No.
What?
Kurt Yu. His first name is Kurt, like me.
Like you.
Yeah. And then the last name is Yu. Kurt Yu. That's the guy's name. So shout out to Kurt Yu. He did a fine job in the supporting role.
Like you, Kurt.
Yeah, I never met an Asian. I don't meet many people with my name, much less like
With
an
Kurt?
Asian. That's an unusual name for an Asian gentleman. I would think.
No. Especially like this guy's age, he's probably at a time where if he was born in the U.S., his parents are probably very much trying to assimilate.
Okay. So they name him Kurt. Okay.
Yeah.
So she is at the podium and she looks down at the Bible and the words start like doing tricks.
Which that's not, at least for me, that's not something that happens when I'm stoned. I don't hallucinate things that aren't real.
See, back in my day, I hallucinate. Well,
It's been known to happen for other substances, I've heard, but not for marijuana.
I'm like, back. Hey, I had some hallucinating.
You sound like the wrong Selma too.
No, Selma Diamond.
Wait, are Selma Diamond and Max from Heart to Heart the same
No, I
person?
don't.
Have we ever seen them in the same room together?
No, we've never seen them in the same room together.
If they met, it'd be murder.
Well, that
Selma Diamond, she's gorgeous.
I do think that sounds like Lindsay Lohan. She's got a voice like that.
So she starts telling the story. So she's really stoned.
Yeah.
And she starts telling the story. And then she starts saying the lines from the song Celebration by Kool and the Gang.
Yeah, that was funny.
Can't do that.
Well, not at your church, Kurt.
And then
Well, it could be problematic. I don't know.
with the little kids, one of the choirs like, is that Kool and the Gang? And then Kool and the Gang.
Yeah, the choir joined in.
Yeah.
And the organ started
Everybody-
playing it. See, everyone was on board at this
Yeah.
church, Kurt.
Right?
I'm working on an impersonation. You want to hear it? Here's this. I'm just starting to work on it so people can learn the process. Okay. Oh, well, I guess they're playing the organ. Yep. It's Selena
Who
Gomez.
is that?
Selena Gomez. She kind of sounds like that. Well, I guess we'll just go solve a murder now. Yep.
Selena
I'm still
Gomez
working
does
on it.
have a very dour delivery, which works for her comedically.
Yes.
So it is an accurate impression.
I'd say that's pretty accurate.
Mabel-
That's what, like,
Mabel,
and
good.
not even trying to be like jokey and poking fun at you, but I think that's a better impression than your Lindsay Lohan was.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Yeah.
So
That's
everybody's
women.
thinking, everybody like enjoying.
What was that, Les? You cut out there.
I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, Les, you're cutting out a little bit here and there, and it's
Get closer to the router.
So I said everybody's singing, everybody's dancing, everybody loves it.
Blasphemy. Well, then the
And-
Virgin Mary starts talking to her, and I don't know where I stand on that. And Jesus, I think, was talking to her at some point.
So then they finish, and they're standing out in front of the church, and Erica is getting ready to go in on her. But then the priest shows up, and the priest is like, "Oh my gosh, that was so great." And he's like, and everybody loved it. The young people want to come back next week. And then he's like, and people will start coming regularly, unlike some people.
yeah,
And,
Oh,
and
shades.
gives Eric a shade.
yeah.
The person who wrote this movie must have a master's degree in shading. So every character is shaded.
Yeah. Yeah, the priest is shady. That little bitch altar boy is shady. Callum is shady. I mean,
I like when the little
basically
bitch
all the
altar
characters
boy,
are.
I like when the little bitch altar boy realizes he didn't tell the priest to not let her speak.
Yeah.
And so he's got these big giant eyes. Yeah, altar boys often have a look of surprise.
I'm going to write a follow-up to the little drummer boy called the little bitch altar boy.
The little bitch altar boy. I like that.
Yeah,
Rum pum pa pum pum.
they have altar girls now.
He's a little bitch. Rum pa pa pum
Poor
pum.
little boy. He made some money on
Oh,
that.
so then later that night, Logan's working on the proposal, and Lindsay comes down to the kitchen, and she has the munchies.
Mm.
She grabs a bunch of cookies and starts eating them.
He's like 12.
Yes, she had the munchies. She had a bunch of, she
There's
had
a lot
bunch
of
gummies.
What time
There's a
was
lot of,
this
like,
supposed
little-
to be, though?
It's late at
I
night.
was supposed to be late at night.
She ate those gummies well before the 4 p.m. service. They also would have worn off by that point.
Okay.
Well, there's a proclivity towards addiction in this. Like she's just like she has to give in. Like when she gets that coffee, that's like the Virgin Mary. She's talking to her, and then these cookies. Like she goes to town. She can't hold back.
And she eats so many cookies, she passes out.
Well, she's got serious some issues that she need to be explored. Didn't Lindsay Lohan have some like issues like that? Some, like,
Yeah.
Oh,
addiction?
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they're playing into that.
Perhaps.
But I love it. She eats so many cookies, she passes out.
Well,
And the next day, she wakes up with like an empty plate of cookies. And Erica's coming into the kitchen, and she's like, "Oh my God, I ate all these cookies." And so she got Luke to distract Erica so she could put the cookies back. And then she got the little dog, and she put all these crumbs on the little dog's mouth and made it look like the dog ate all the cookies.
He's framing a dog.
Then
Shady.
Erica starts freaking out because then she's like, "Oh my God, my dog ate these chocolate cookies, and dogs can't eat chocolate."
and Lindsay didn't know that? Isn't that something like we all know?
I don't
Yeah.
think the person that was passed out because she ate 100 milligrams or so of weed edibles and then passed out eating the cookies and is freaking about her potential future mother-in-law is thinking, I should probably Google side effects of chocolate on dogs.
But you don't have to Google it. You would already know that. You're saying you don't feed a dog chocolate. I don't know. Well, anyway, she had to do that. It's the device for the movie.
Yeah.
Right. So then Erica rushes the dog to the vet. Avery goes with her.
Well, wait, we didn't tell the audience how Logan distracted Erica. Logan's like, I've got to ask you a question. I've got something very important to ask you. So then Erica immediately thinks that Logan is ready to propose to Cassie.
Yes.
And she's very excited. So then they go to the vet. Yeah. And so then they're getting ready to do all these procedures on the dog. And Erica actually likes Lindsay now. And so Avery's trying to get Erica to like leave the room. And so she does all these things. She finally gets her to leave the room. The actual vet comes in, and then Avery fesses up to the vet.
Chris
Dr.
Parnell.
Spaceman.
That.
Yeah.
Dr. Spaceman. Oh no. I like that episode of 30 Rock where like remember where the union guys would get these sandwiches, these special sandwiches. Remember that? And then you see like, so they're willing to do anything to get these sandwiches from the union people. And so Tracy Morgan, so the union guys are just watching Tracy Morgan do like a soft shoe dance. and they're standing there and go, okay, now you two kiss each other.
For sandwiches?
You guys remember that one? Yeah, you remember that show?
No.
I remember the show. I don't remember that.
I never watched it.
No. Really, Les? Okay.
But I moved it. I'm gonna watch it though because I didn't realize that Elaine Stritch was on it.
Oh my God, so many people are on it, Les.
Oh,
so I'm gonna watch it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, just say I'm gonna watch it because now that I know that Elaine Stritch was on it, I'm gonna watch it.
Sherry Shepherd has a great recurring role on it. And one of the best episodes actually two of the best episodes of the show, they did episodes. Sherry Shepherd plays Tracy Morgan's wife on the show. And she's like a reality star, like a Bravo reality star. And they did 2 episodes of 30 Rock that were like her reality show, Queen of Jordan. So they were all shot like a Bravo show.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
I think that's where EGOT came from, right? Didn't they?
EGOT came from
EGOT?
30. It was mentioned on 30 Rock. I don't remember how.
I thought that was the origin of EGOT.
And
they came up with that.
It definitely was originated on 30 Rock. And Titus Burgess, who went on to Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, he plays a character, or he's on the reality show with Sherry Shepherd's character.
Oh, wow. Now, I know who Titus Burgess is, because of course I watched Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
Oh, so Avery and Logan are talking about everything, and she's like, oh my God, and Logan's kind of like, this is becoming a shit show. But while they're having their conversation, they didn't realize that Callum was eavesdropping. The little 17 or 18-ish Callum was eavesdropping. Mm-hmm. And then Callum blackmails them. So, which I liked.
Yeah.
And his big blackmail was just for them to buy him booze. So then all of the young people go to a bar. And
the young adult people.
The
little bitch altar boy wasn't there.
He should have been.
The young adult people all go to a bar. Sophie's there too.
Here's some Jesus juice, young boy.
Right?
I shouldn't say that.
Kurt, you can give him some.
What's that?
Jesus.
Kurt, you can give him some.
Why would I give him some?
Kurt, you.
Oh, Kurt, you. Yeah.
Not Kurt, you. Kurt, you.
Kurt, you. Yeah, he can give it. I understand.
Oh, wait, not Kurt, you, but Kurt, you.
Yeah. Who's on first?
Yeah, it was a very who's on first.
Yeah. Nice. That snuck up on me.
So Avery gets a phone call.
Yeah.
She goes outside to take the call. It's the realtor. And the realtor calls her because she wants to show the house, but her dad took the keys with him when he went out of town.
Wait,
So
this is pretty late. This is pretty late to be showing the house. Let's showing the house now?
I think they had a showing the next day.
Oh,
yeah.
And she basically wanted to catch Avery while she could.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So while Avery's on her call, though, she looks inside the bar and she sees Cameron talking to Sophie, and she notices something like,
Yeah. Which, by the way, I thought that boyfriend, Cameron, I thought that he had more chemistry with her than Logan. He seemed like
I
better
agree with
match.
that.
yeah, I agree with that too. So Avery's like, well, I got to go home and take the keys. And Logan agrees to drive her because Cameron had already had drinks, so he couldn't drive. So Luke drives her. Oh, and she was like, it was like an hour away.
Yeah.
So Luke drives Avery home.
You mean Logan?
Luke or
And-
Logan?
Oh, Logan. Logan drives Avery home. And when they get to her house, she goes into the house and she walks around and she starts crying because she's thinking about her mom. And then Logan comes in after her and they talk and have a little talk. Then they're driving in this part I didn't get. Then they're driving and then Callum's in their back seat drunk.
They picked him up somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
So then they put Cameron to bed. And then Logan is at the kitchen table working on his proposal.
By the way, I don't think Callum was drunk. I think he had done drugs, like harder stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Probably his gummies.
No, I don't think it was more than gummies. I think they hinted at like he was at a rave or something and was doing other stuff.
Oh, that's right, because he had a little outfit on.
Yeah.
He had like ears.
Molly.
Mm-hmm.
He probably was Molly because
Yeah.
he had ears.
Hence the like wanting to make this kid a legal adult on paper for the sake of the movie, just because it makes it a little less creepy.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's late at night. Logan is working on his proposal and Cameron comes home and he looks kind of sketchy. And then he asks Logan, hey, can you keep this between us? Because Avery gets mad sometimes when I get drunk. So the next morning, everybody's in the kitchen and Cameron kind of looked like shit. And then Cassie was like, oh my gosh, last night was so fun. I got in around 1 a.m. And then Cameron's like, oh, I got home around 2. And Logan gets this weird look on his face. And then he gets a call. And then later, Cameron is still acting sketchy. And they all go shopping. And Logan tries to tell Avery something's up with Cameron, but Avery basically tells him to mind his own business.
And she's right.
I agree.
It really was not something for him to say. And you could tell she's already aware of what's happening. So she needs to manage that on her own. He needs to leave that alone.
Now, the whole reason why they're all out is they're all out buying their Secret Santa gifts because Erica arranged the Secret Santa.
What group of people that's doing a Secret Santa gift exchange goes shopping together?
Right.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't make any sense. Well, they had to economize the scene, I guess.
That's like playing hide and seek, but all of you turning find my friend on your iPhones.
Is there a hide and seek people do on their phones?
No, I'm saying like playing it in real life, but everyone has their phones with them and turns on Find My Friends, so you can find each other really easily.
Speaking of Find My Friends, over last weekend, Jason, I got an alert that you did a dance workout.
Yeah. I don't know what Find My Friends is. What is this?
No, on iPhones, there's a feature. Well, they have a thing where you can like find your iPhone. So it's like, it's got the little NFC chip in it. And so it can ping the network and kind of help you find your phone, even if you just like lose it in your home, which I do sometimes.
Like my sister had, when my sister's kids were teenagers, my sister had Find My Phone, her kids in her Find My Phone.
Oh, okay.
Because one time one of my nephews snuck out and went to a party, and my sister showed up at the party because she had find
like
my
navigation thing.
Yeah, my sister showed up.
Okay. Did they like that?
No, he did not like that.
No.
And I use it with friends, like if we're away on vacation or something together, just so they know, like if one of us we get separated or whatever, it's easy to find each other. And you can use the same technology, and you've heard of air tags to track your luggage, track your phone, whatever it is. They're just like tiny little things like that.
So Jason, were you dancing a lot last weekend?
Last weekend and the week before, yeah, because both times I was at like a music thing, so.
Because it showed up on my phone, and so I guess you burned a bunch of calories.
I sure did, yeah. I did, like New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, I danced a ton because I was on my feet I think at the festival one day I was there for like 6 hours with all of my time on my feet that day. It said that I walked the equivalent of 21 miles.
Jeez.
There you go.
One day?
Yeah. And then this past weekend, not nearly as much, but still, I was at the Sphere, and it was this like incredible EDM show, and I was just dancing the whole time.
That was, you burned your calories. Start the year out right. So then Callum comes in and he blackmails Avery and Logan for their secret Santa gifts.
Jeez.
And so then it's Christmas Eve. It's like the family get together. They're all talking. Somebody asks Avery, where are you from? She's like, oh, I'm from Peachtree City. And then Cassie's like, oh, that's where Logan is from. I'm surprised you two don't know each other. And they kind of make up some story. Then Sophie announces that she's moving back from Australia to start Sophie's a doctor. And so she's moving back from Australia to start the practice up in the town they're in.
Okay.
And Erica still thinks Logan is about to propose to Cassie.
Yes. And so then, Erica makes her husband clear out all the plates. And then Judy is like, oh, I'm going to go help him. So Logan goes up to his bedroom for something, and he opens up his closet, and he catches Cassie's dad and Sophie's mom making out in the closet.
Yeah. The dad was Dan Bucatinsky, who's a character actor who I know as the co-creator of The Comeback.
Oh, he did that?
I think he developed that along with Lisa Kudrow. I think that's her producing partner, yeah.
Oh, Valerie Jarrett. I love Valerie Jarrett.
He's in a ton of stuff. You've seen him before, for sure.
Yeah, he was in Scandal.
Yeah.
That's where I know him from. And I think he was one of the producers or something on Scandal as well.
Probably was.
Okay, see, I have not seen those shows.
You would like Scandal, Kurt.
You'd actually like The Comeback, too.
Yeah, you would love... Oh, Kurt, you would love The Comeback.
I just started watching The Bear.
Well, The Comeback is a little lighter than The Bear.
Yeah.
No, Kurt, you would love The Comeback, actually.
And oh my God, okay. The fact that there's a Lisa Kudrow dresses in a giant cupcake outfit at one point. Come on.
I don't need to see that.
I
That
don't
was her
want to
catchphrase.
see that. I don't want to see that.
And she was Aunt Sassy.
Yeah.
There's more to me than that.
There's more to Aunt Sassy.
Well, maybe I'll see it. Now, where is that available?
That was an HBO show, so that's probably on
It was
Max.
probably on Max.
The first season's phenomenal. The second season's okay.
Yeah, watch The Head. Did I talk about The Head before?
No, what's that?
Nobody knows The Head except me. It's a show. It's on Max. It's like in its third season. They're still putting episodes out weekly.
So like a head?
No, it's like a thriller kind of like psychological horror movie. It's almost like an Agatha Christie thing. There's a killer, and these like they're doing like a science experiments, and they're in Antarctica. Man, I'd like to meet one other person who's seen this show.
I'd like to meet one other person who's heard of it.
The talking head, though?
No one's even heard of it.
Yeah, is it like a Max Headroom thing?
No, the title is bad. It's called The Head, and the title's not good. But the show is good. I don't think it's an American show. It's not originally an American show. And
because if it was like a talking head and it was like a sassy old woman.
Oh,
and
this is what they could do. Is they
I
could
totally
take,
watch.
what's that Talking Heads video where David Byrne's head is just like in the middle of the screen? They just take that, but
running down the house.
Yeah, just dub lines of dialogue from that show in, and then I would watch.
No, but
They made it like a head and it was like Doris Roberts or something. I would totally watch it.
Could someone tweet us who's seen The Head? I can't be the only person who's seen this show. What'd you say? It's the head of Doris Roberts?
If it was like the head, if it was like a talking head and it was like Doris Roberts, I would totally watch it.
How jarring would that be? You're flipping through the channels and it's just a giant Doris Roberts head in the middle of the screen.
We're giving away our best ideas again.
And by we, you mean we as a society.
No, I mean us, man. We got some good ideas, and we keep putting them out there for free. Yes, I'm not bringing the head up again because nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Now, why was Logan so upset about Cassie's dad making out with Sophie's mother? I didn't get why he was so upset.
I think it's because it's just an overload.
Yeah,
of nonsense.
It was like another thing. Like I'm keeping this secret that Avery's making me keep. I'm keeping these secrets that Callum is doing all this shit. Cam asked me to keep the secret from Avery. Now you're asking me to keep a secret. It was too much.
Yeah, I'd be pissed off. I'd be like, look, I don't want to get involved in this nonsense, and I am.
Yeah. I'd be like, look, I barely know either of you. I do not care. Live your lives.
Yeah, but now he knows. So it's like, oh, jeez. So that's
now I gotta go talk to Doris Roberts.
just her head. I don't think she's with us anymore.
She's not.
No, she's not.
Which is why it would also be jarring.
Which would make the show even better.
She could have donated her head to the entertainment industry.
Well,
I mean,
so
Del Close was going to donate his skull to like production of Hamlet.
Or what they could have done, because a couple of weeks ago, I was in London for Christmas and we went to see the ABBA show.
Oh, right on. How was it?
Oh, it was good. It was very good. And so basically it's ABBA in 3D. Mm-hmm. Or they're holograms.
Yeah.
And they look exactly like them. So for the show The Head, we could get a hologram of Doris Roberts' head.
Yeah, I just want like a disembodied head talking to them.
Is this a live show? She's like the Wizard of Oz and she's giant head is up there or what?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What's the premise of this show you're watching?
I told you. It's like...
I've already forgotten.
Forget it. Just look it up on Wikipedia. We'll watch it. Just try to watch it. And I said I wasn't going to bring it up anymore.
I will try to watch that if you try to watch The Comeback and if Les tries to watch 30 Rock this week. I'll try to watch The Head.
Yeah, that's...
Deal.
Okay.
Deal.
All right.
You'll like the 30 Rock. That's funny.
Okay. So they start the Secret Santa.
Yeah.
And they're opening up their gifts, and then it's time for Erica to open up her gift. And Callum was the person who, so when Callum blackmailed Logan and Avery for a Christmas gift, Logan was like, well, I had Avery as my person. So he gave Callum the gift. So Callum had Erica. So when it was time for Erica to open up her gift, she opens up her gift and it's a bra and panties.
Which is what Logan
Sexy.
had originally bought for Cassie.
Yes. And when Avery opened up her gift, she had a bag of gummies.
Right.
Pretty funny.
So when Erica opens up her bra and panties, it's kind of gross, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's odd."
Yeah, from Logan, or
And then that's when Callum was like, "Well, I didn't do it. Logan did it." And then all of a sudden, the doorbell rings, and it's Logan's mom and grandma that just show up at the house because Erica thought that he was going to propose to Cassie, so she invited them. So the grandma, who had dementia and didn't remember anybody, walks in. And so first, Logan grabs his mom and is like, okay, pretend like you don't know Avery. But then the grandma walks in, and even though the grandma didn't remember anybody, she remembered Avery. And so then they tried to
spills the
up.
beans of Avery and Logan's past relationship in very specific details too.
Yes.
yeah. Well, that could happen.
Yeah. I think that was realistic. I just thought they were using the dementia for comedic relief more than anything.
Yeah. So then all the secrets came out. So they confessed that they dated. Callum then ratted on Avery and said that Avery ate the cookies. Avery in turn ratted out Callum about the pot. Then we find out that Judy Greer, or not Judy Greer, Judy and Stan, who was Tim Meadows, were having an affair.
Judy Jetson.
Then we find out that Cameron slept with Sophie.
Judy Bloom.
And so all the secrets were out. And so then
Everybody's just fucking and drugging and drinking and lying and
so then Avery packs to leave. Avery leaves. And then after she says goodbye to Logan, then Logan goes to Cassie and starts to dump her, and the screen goes dark.
Mm.
So then we see Avery. She's in her apartment. Her dad comes over. We find out the house was sold. Then he gives her the dad talk, da 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 da.
You heard about the trouble.
Yeah, he had heard about everything that went down. And then he told her how he always thought that he liked her and Logan together. So meanwhile, Avery prints out the proposal, Logan's proposal, and goes over to Erica's house and rings her doorbell and says, listen, give this to Stan, or if you don't give this proposal to Stan, I'm going to show up at your house every day until you do. So then we have a montage, kind of a passage of time montage again.
I think you missed it. That the dad gives her the key.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Basically tells her, like, I'll sell it to you. I'm not going to.
From it.
Yeah.
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 So then we have a montage of the passage of time. And then it's New Year's and like Logan's with his mom and grandma. Avery's at a party. Then we find out that Logan actually gives the proposal and he gets the deal. And then we cut to Avery and she's in the house. She bought the house and she's in the house and she's having like a housewarming party.
Can we just back up a little bit? You skimmed over the scene with Tim Meadows, right? Where they get the deal?
Yeah, they have it. Yeah.
Because that was kind of interesting because it was weird because he's in the restaurant. Tim Meadows is talking to the one guy and telling him he doesn't get the job. But then Logan shows up. Logan is at the same table and he says, "You have the job." And then Tim Meadows just gets up and leaves the two of them together.
Well, the guy that he's telling doesn't have the job is Logan's boss.
Oh, that's his boss.
It's his boss who also didn't like Logan basically thought his boss was going to go for like the cheap way and the most boring way. And he thought that's what Tim Meadows was going to do, which is why he didn't submit his actual ideas right away. And Avery submitted them.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense then. He's still going to, his boss is, it's still his boss is still going to be doing the work.
Yeah. He basically just didn't want Logan's boss being the one spearheading the project because it was Logan that had the original ideas.
Oh, okay.
So Avery's having her housewarming party. Logan shows up, tells her he loves her. They kiss. Then 1 year later, it's like Christmas time again. They're in a car shows up at Avery's house. It's Tim Meadows, and he brings a gift over for her and for Logan. And then she invites him in, and he's like, "Well, no, I can't come in because we have the kids in the car." So it's kind of like, okay. So then she walks over to the car, and then the window goes down, and I guess Tim Meadows is now with Kristin Chenoweth.
They hinted earlier in the movie. Before we found out that that Dan Bucatinsky and Deby Reyes' characters together, I thought they were hinting that Kristin Chenoweth and Tim Meadows' characters were together.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I didn't see that.
So, and I guess the kids meant the dog.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
And the gift were the chocolate cookies.
Yeah. Which I thought was a nice touch, a nice button on the end of the movie.
And then there was like another cartoon and they got married and that was the end. And I was like in a shitty mood just because of everything going on. And when the movie ended, I was in a better mood. So there you go.
There you go.
Well, yeah.
And I'm starting to realize that I love a Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope this continues. Doesn't she have like a deal with Netflix now?
Well, I think she's fulfilled it because it was a 2-picture deal and she had that Irish something that was out earlier in the year.
I think all of her movies do well on Netflix.
The Irish Curse.
Which is why they keep hiring her.
Yes.
The
So
Irish
we need more Lindsay Lohan Christmas movies. Who knew that Lindsay Lohan would be the queen of Christmas?
Well, Lacey Chabert did pretty damn well with Hot Frosty too. I think.
Well, yes.
I think maybe it's just people from the Mean Girls universe.
Yes.
So let me put that on a list. They had a list of
the MGU.
Movies.
Yeah.
List of movies they saw last year, and they put on Hot Frosty. And I was like, would we really call that a movie?
Hot Frosty did very well.
Definitely a movie. It's very successful for Netflix.
I thought it was like a TV
also
thing.
from the Lacey's from the Mean Girls cinematic universe. Tim Meadows is from the Mean Girls cinematic universe. Jonathan Bennett from Hallmark is in the Mean Girls cinematic universe.
I predict that the Mean Girls cinematic universe is going to take over Netflix.
Yeah.
More TV. I wouldn't call it a movie.
Oh, and get this.
How is this not a movie either? Or how is this a movie, Kurt?
I guess I have to consider it a movie. To me,
it's a movie.
I put them in with like the Lifetime Hallmark movies. Like they're not real.
It's
real
not.
movies,
It's
right?
not
So is
a
Netflix
feature
real
in
movie?
that it didn't show in a theater, but it's still made as a film.
So I have to consider the Hallmark movies real movies.
Yeah,
I never did.
A TV movie.
I have a list. I have a list of things I consume in the year, and I always put these under TV, not film.
TV is a content delivery system because
But
you can
I'm
watch
thinking, like,
movies
Hot
on
Frosty.
TV.
I can't handle that Hot Frosty sort of film. We gotta give it. I'm going back to the 80s now. We're downgrading the TV.
I
TV's a
guarantee
downgrade.
that if Hot Frosty were made in the 80s, it would have been a feature film before it hit TV.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I think what I was saying that like, if you go back in the 80s, like TV was like a downgrade from film, and nowadays it's kind of
the other
equal.
way
But
around.
I look at the Hot Frosties more of like it's a TV product, and it's not like a film.
It would have been
Maybe I'm
Hot
wrong.
Frosty.
I have to
Hot Frosty
rethink
starring
this.
Hot Frosty starring Christopher Adkins.
And Kurt Yu. Yeah, the cameo. I'm gonna be following Kurt Yu.
Actually, when I was
I'm gonna attend
was
there.
in
I got a
Sweden,
scholarship.
they watched the stripper. What was the stripper movie called again? The male stripper movie.
Merry Gentlemen.
That's
Yeah,
not
they were
a
watching
movie.
that in Sweden.
Oh,
It's not a movie either. Yes. Well, Lindsay Lohan is going to be in a Freaky Friday sequel,
Yeah.
so look out for that.
Yes.
And this is what I was going to say. They made a body switching movie with Jennifer Garner and I think Ed Helms, and it was like and the kids and everybody switched bodies. I would watch Sex in the City 2 before I'd watch that piece of garbage.
Whoa.
I like a body
Whoa.
switch movie, and I love Jennifer Garner, but that looked really bad. I couldn't do it.
That scene, it's the same stupid recycled jokes. Enough. Who says that? Enough.
Meredith Marks on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
But
I've had enough.
speaking of Netflix and body switch and Jennifer Garner, it's kind of a body switch. Did you? I think it was that last year. Did you guys see the Adam Project? It was Ryan Reynolds and Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo. It was really good.
I never even heard of this.
Yeah. Huge hit for Netflix. Huge hit.
Never heard of it.
I'm more of a twin switching places person.
Well, this was not really a body switch as much as it was a younger and older self, their timelines overlapping.
Oh, like a 13 going on 30.
Somewhat, which had Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo.
Which I do love. I do love 13 going on 30.
I never
Have you
saw
seen that, Kurt?
it. No,
Kurt?
because
good
I
movie.
got my fill with that like father like son with Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron. I didn't need to watch vice versa. It's the same thing.
Well, no. 13 going on 30 is she goes back in time. Or no, her younger self goes to the future, to present day, and takes over her body. So she's 30, but she's 13.
Wow,
And it's very, very,
Very good.
Very charming.
it's good.
And the Adam Project, just for context, was Ryan Reynolds, Jennifer Garner, and Mark Ruffalo, directed by Sean Levy, who directed Deadpool and Wolverine this year, has directed Ryan in several other big movies. So
Museum, didn't it?
What's that?
Night at the Museum.
Yep, he did those too.
Some of those.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I like Night at the Museum, actually.
Trust me, Adam Project, it was 2 years ago. Highly recommended.
Okay.
Jeez,
I will watch.
my pen.
Wow, Kurt, that movie must have really sucked for you to want to watch Sex in the City too.
No, he's
instead
going to
of-
watch
saw it.
30 Rock. I mean, he's going to watch the comeback.
I would watch Sex and the City 2. This is another thing I was thinking about today in this long car ride because I remembered them all looking in the mirror and going, "Oh no," or something like that. I'm like, no, I've had it. This stuff really sticks in my craw. You know, Jennifer Garner is almost the same age as me. She was born the day after me. So what a difference a day makes. As a friend of mine said, which was very flattering.
What a difference a day makes.
Yeah, she was born. We're Irish twins. Well, not just Irish twins. We're
You're
almost
Irish twins.
exactly twins. Irish twins will be within a year.
Yeah.
You know what Irish twins?
I have
is,
a friend who. No, I have friends who are Irish twins.
Yeah, no, we're not siblings anyway. So anyway, we're getting off track.
Yeah, I have friends that are 11 months apart.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, if you want to get a hold of me, you can find me at my website, leskirkendallbarrett.com, or on Instagram at Kirkendall. And by the way, if you are in Indianapolis, January 23rd through the 26th, I will be doing my show, The Real Black Swan, Confessions of America's First Black Drag Queen, at the District Theater. And if you would like to attend, you can go to districttheater.com. And if you are in the UK, in Colchester, on February 6th, I will be doing my show, The Real Black Swan, Confessions of America's First Black Drag Queen, at the University of Essex. Now, I will be giving out more information about that next week, but that's it. Jason.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the Instagram post that I want to do that's just going to be Doris Roberts' head.
The head, man.
If you want to find us on Instagram, Threads, or Facebook, we are Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast. On TikTok, we are Lifetime of Hallmark Pod. Please rate and review us wherever you listen to your podcast and subscribe to our podcast. It helps more people find the show. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
Well, I will keep practicing my Selena Gomez. I've got to get 10,000 hours of it. You know, like Malcolm Gladwell. That's how you become a master. Well, I'm in the Shelf Shedding movie podcast. We just recorded another episode. I think it's an episode, but it's not going to be released for a while, where we discuss the Blues Brothers. But the Oscar season's coming, and we'll be doing that. And I know that Jason DeBray will be coming on this show.
Yes, we need to have Jason DeBray back.
He's gonna come on during the Oscar season. We're gonna have a crossover episode.
Okay.
Of course. So it's gonna come up in the next couple months.
Did you say you watched the Blues Brothers for this episode?
Well, yes, that episode is not going to be released until after the Oscar ones, but we have some older ones up too. So you can listen to.
Do you mind me asking what the theme of that one was? That show?
It's because the premise of the Shelf Shedding movie podcast is that Jason DeBray has all these DVDs. He wants to get rid of some of them. So each episode, like, he presents like 5 movies. One of them gets chucked.
Okay.
So
he chucks them.
So at some point, the Blues Brothers got chucked. It was one of the movies that got chucked. So I come on and I defend the Blues Brothers. I try to get him to put it back in his collection.
I thought it might have been like a Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary kind of thing that you were doing that one.
No, but that's a fun idea too, though.
Oh, I watched that movie on the plane, the Saturday Night Live movie.
How is it? Yeah, I'm worried about it because I know the history of that show inside and out. I've read every freaking book on it.
I do too.
The movie, I'm just like, I don't know.
I've read so much about that I feel like when I was reading about it, I feel like it was there. It's just because I read so much about that thing.
I did find the Garrett Morris stuff kind of interesting just because, like, he was like a serious actor.
Yeah. He was like a playwright.
Yeah.
He was a Juilliard trained playwright and was 38, like was much older than the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
And he was in Cooley High, which was like out before that.
And he's still alive.
So the premise of the movie is basically the first night leading up to the first episode.
Right. Isn't it the hour and a half or so between the dress rehearsal and the live show?
Yeah. Yes. And a lot happened in that hour.
Well, I met that woman. I think you met her too. You did. Jason, you said you met her. Ann Bates.
I went to Easter or Thanksgiving. I think it was Easter dinner at her house one year randomly.
Yeah.
And B2 is one of the original writers on the SNL.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I met her as well, and she talked about. I think I've told this story before. I'm gonna get quick. It was an Andy Kaufman art exhibit, and then part of the exhibit was a table. You sit at a table. There's a table with Andy Kaufman's brother. He's just sitting at the table, and then there were like every hour, so like somebody else would come in. So when Ann Bates was. So I just sat at the table next to Andy Kaufman's brother and just like hung out with them for like an hour. Awesome. That was part of the museum exhibit. Little unusual.
Anywho, well, Kurt, you need to go to bed.
Yeah, I've been sleepy but not exhausted.
Unless you need to go watch 30 Rock.
Huh? I do.
You do what?
I do need to go watch Rock. But I have to watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills first.
Yeah, but stay safe in LA.
Thank you.
Everybody stay safe. We got some, 2025. That's if that's the way it's going to be.
Well, today I was a little.
Take care of your friends.
Today I was a little hopeful because wasn't it supposed to be really bad winds today, and it actually wasn't.
I don't know what it was at the sites of the fires, but it wasn't bad where we are.
Yeah, because last week it was like the winds were crazy. So it definitely, it seems like the winds died down, so I hope it stays that way. All right. Well, I'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.